The Honey Island Swamp Monster. Honey Island Swamp is a 70,000-acre marshland covering nearly 250 square miles. It's located north of New Orleans, just north of Lake Pontchartrain and on a bend of Old Pearl River. Comprised mostly of woods and swamps, its inhabitants include alligators, snapping turtles, western cottonmouths, king snakes, and the fierce Louisiana black bear. Honey Island earned its name due to the large population of honeybees, which is also Louisiana's state insect. The swamp is also reportedly the home of a creature. Witnesses have said it is a large, ape-like humanoid, similar to that of Bigfoot and the skunk ape. The Native American folklore from the area called the creature the Lettish, and described it as meat-eating, human-like creature that lived in the water and on the land. The first officially reported sighting of the creature in this area was in early August of 1963. By Harlan Ford, a retired air traffic controller, and his friend Billy Mills. The pair of veteran hunters claimed that while out in the swamps, they came across a large creature standing over the body of a dead boar. The strange creature had apparently ripped the boar's throat completely out. They described the creature as being covered in gray hair, with longer hair hanging from its head. They estimated the creature weighed close to 400 pounds and stood about 7 feet tall. Its legs were slender but its chest and shoulders were large. The creature's enormous size and hair was frightening, but its amber-colored eyes and horrible stench that reeked from the creature were the two things that stuck in Harlan and Billy's mind from this amazing encounter. They described it as ugly and sinister looking, like it came out of a horror movie. It swung around and they said it looked at them for a moment, then ran off into the swamp. Having seen something that strange, Ford became determined to find the creature. He collected evidence for over 10 years, then eventually he went back to the location where he first saw the creature. On a trail near a small watering hole, Ford noticed what looked like to him as a fatal fight for survival. Seeing spots of spattered blood on the ground, he crawled through shrubbery to the other side of the watering hole, and found a wild boar that had just been killed, and had its throat ripped completely out, just like he had seen before. Next to the boar was a series of large footprints in the mud. The footprints, which were later cast by Ford using liquid plaster, indicated a massive three-toed webbed foot. Ford took the castings to the local game warden and to LSU's College of Agriculture to be analyzed, but they could not identify what kind of animal the tracks had come from. Ford went a step further in trying to find out more about what he saw that day. He decided to bring his camera with him every time he went to his camp, but he was unable to capture the creature on film. Over the years, local hunters and fishermen, news stations, and TV networks have continued to keep the legend of the Honey Island Swamp Monster alive. But nobody has covered the story as closely as Dana Holyfield. Dana Holyfield is the granddaughter of Harlan Ford, and has continued her grandfather's research with a documentary, and several books including one entitled Honey Island Swamp Monster Documentations. She has also done many other forms of research. To view her work and research, we have provided the link to her site below our description. When her grandfather passed away, Holyfield was given a roll of 8mm film labeled Honey Island Swamp Monster. It was stored in a box that Ford kept in his home. It had not been seen by anyone besides Ford. The film reveals what Ford saw one day from a tree blind he set up. It shows a large creature, and it is seen in the film walking through the woods about 100 yards away. Experts have analyzed the footage, and did not rule out the possibility that the footage was real. At the time, Ford decided not to show the footage to anyone. Ford decided not to show anybody what he captured on film that day. He was worried that someone would mistake a hunter for the creature, and someone may get hurt or killed. There have been many other encounters with the creature since then, mostly from hunters and residents of the swamp. One is that of Ted Williams, who lived on the bayou most of his life. He was a trapper and worked the swampland daily. Ted claimed to have seen the creature many times, and he said that there was more than just one of them. He said, "I could have killed them, but I didn't because they didn't seem to want to harm me. I'd see them swimming the river and get out on the bank, then disappear in the swamp." Ted claimed to have gotten very close to them on several occasions. One day Ted went into the swamp, and never returned. After looking for him, the searchers found his boat, which was empty, but Ted was never seen again. Nobody knows what happened to him. Some claim that day, he got too close to the creatures. Another encounter was that of Barry Ford. Ford described his encounter to the crew of the television program In Search of. My wife and I were going on a fishing trip about 4 years ago, and at about 9 p.m. that night, I heard this peculiar noise, a scream down the river, I'd say about a half a mile away. My wife wanted me to build a fire, so I was out gathering wood, and it screamed again. This time it was closer, maybe 300 yards away. That's when it really scared her. It scared me also, but I tried not to let her know it, so I went ahead and kept building the fire, and less than 10 minutes later it screamed again, and this time it was right on top of us. It almost shook the leaves off the trees. In 1973, a guide was traveling down the bayou in a small boat when it struck something in the water. The guide stopped to see what it was. That was when he said he saw the creature. It was swimming towards the shore, then it climbed out of the water, and walked into the woods on 2 legs. Some people from the area claim the creature is a hoax, and have presented some evidence to support their claims. They claim that some people from the area just wanted to make some money off the creature myth. Joe Nickell, a prominent paranormal investigator, investigated Ford's footage and declared it a Patterson knockoff, referring of course to the famous Sasquatch footage, and suggests that the reason Ford did not reveal the footage's existence during his lifetime is because of its dubious quality. Nickell says that some of the film is suspiciously missing, and also points out that it is quite the coincidence Ford managed to capture footage of the Honey Island swamp monster, within the limited time available on a roll of Super 8 film. A local area guide, Robbie Charbonnet, who runs nature tours in the area, presents his own theories about why the myth of the Honey Island swamp monster, and other similar creatures are so common. He believes that the stories are meant to keep outsiders away from hunting areas, or to prevent people from stumbling upon moonshine stills. He also suggested that they might simply be a way to frighten children so that they stay away from dangerous places. So what do you think of the stories of the Honey Island swamp monster? Let us know in the comments below, and please like and subscribe.